Hi everyone. Okay, in part three of this short little video series, we're talking about applying the basic building blocks of 16th note rhythms to incorrectly written rhythms. So I mentioned this in the previous video. With 16th note rhythms, there is an imaginary bar line between every beat. So in 4/4, there's an imaginary bar line between beats 1 and 2, between beats 2 and 3, and between beats 3 and 4. So above the staff, I've written here the subdivision. And the rules of subdivision are still the same, except now instead of just 1 and, 2 and 3 and 4 and, we have twice as many levels of subdivision. So instead of just 1 and, it's 1 E and and we're going to use these basic building blocks to figure out how to write this rhythm correctly. This rhythm is unplayable, not because it's particularly difficult, but because these rhythms are not beamed in a way where each beat is its own island of like basic rhythm information. So the way we're going to do this is a lot easier to do in person with a whiteboard, but I'm going to start by just writing in the subdivision. And this time, instead of 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, I'm going to use 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E, yep, and 4 E and and I'm trying to line these. So each of these symbols represents a 16th note worth of time, and I'm trying very carefully to space these symbols evenly across the measure and to line them up with the note that they correspond to. So this 16th note happens during 1. This 16th note happens during E and 2, E and 3, and so on. So the imaginary bar line is between each and number. It's between each beat. So there's an imaginary bar line here. There's an imaginary bar line here. And there's an imaginary bar line here. So now we can use these basic building blocks of rhythm to write this incoherent rhythm a little bit more coherently. So beat 1 is its own island of information. So we need to find a subdivision that matches 1 E and So we're essentially going to break this 8th note into two parts. The part before the imaginary bar line tied to the part after the imaginary bar line. So here I have 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is the same as this subdivision. 1 plus 2 plus 1. We're going to tie the last beat, the last note of this building block to the first note of the next. So that's our first building block. Now here we've got 2 E and So this 8th note is obscuring the imaginary bar line, and each one of these subdivisions is with a different note. This 2 is the last moment of that note. It's by itself, and this is the first moment of this note. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is the same as this. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. The difference is these two notes are going to be tied, and these two notes are going to be tied. So beat 2 is going to look like this. Oops, sorry. One plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, in the second in the third beat, we've got 1 plus 2 plus 1. So that's, again, this 1 plus 2 plus 1. One plus 2 plus 1. And then the last one, it's starting to get a little bit offset here. 4e and corresponds to this, and the last is here. It's the same as this. 1e and. So that's our last beat. So believe it or not, what's in the treble clef and what's in the bass clef are the same rhythm, but this rhythm is a little bit more coherent because I can see where all of these rhythms fall within the grid of time, within the beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this rhythm, I'll clap it for you now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me try that one more time without counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it is. All right, cool. I hope that helps. Like I said, this is a lot easier to talk about in person with a whiteboard, but I hope this gets you started in understanding the basic building blocks of rhythm. All right, thanks. Bye.